a guy by the name of Noel Porter. For some of you old enough to remember, Noel Porter was a childlike prodigy in the 70s that later on in the late 70s became a violinist. He was a violinist and started playing jazz and funk. And so Noel Porter, he ended up being connected to the grave site down there in Wall Street or what have you. He was one of the people that worked on that project and played the violin. But he died in 94. And I always ask the question, did they kill him? And so when we got in touch with him, he said, no, I was a childlike figure. I wasn't supposed to go past 40. So when I turned 40, I ascended. 39 or 40, I ascended. Well, it's the same thing with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is a childlike figure. You're never supposed to see him as an old man. So 50 was the Jubilee time. You see what I'm saying? Now, 50 is also connected to the 50th gate of Bina, what they call it in the Kabbalah. It's the 50 gates, which is connected to Saturn. Well, Michael is a Saturn angel. You see, is a Saturn angel. You see, so all of this type of stuff, and I'll say one last thing, then I don't want to hog the phone. One of the other things was, about 2 months ago, we got a transmission from a deity by the name of Orithiel. And Orithiel said that he was coming to the planet this summer. As I figured that was the summer solstice, which was last Sunday. Not but this past Sunday, the 21st. He said he was coming to the planet this summer. He said sometime, he said, on the 12th of June. And as you know, June 12th is when they switched over to from analog to digital on your cable boxes and stuff. So he said he was coming to the planet, Orithiel. And so, and it's beautiful because when we get this transmission, the sister named Ella Woods, who was the one that actually got this, and she's a woman in her 60s. And she got this particular transmission. And so we did the information on it, and he said, well, he's coming to the planet this summer. Well, Rudolf Steiner is one of the people who did the work with Orithiel, and Rudolf Steiner, they said at the turn of last century, Rudolf Steiner was 18th century, 1800s, early 1900s. Rudolf Steiner said that Orithiel the Orithiel cycle will replace that cycle of Michael. And here we have now, this is the interesting part. What we have here is just as this entity came and says, or this energy, or this light, or this formula would say, I'm coming in June, I'm coming during the summer solstice, I'm coming during the summer. And just as he said that, bam, Archangel Michael transcends. So this is a beautiful time, but it is not the final play as everything is not a conspiracy. You see what I'm saying? People do die on occasion, like every 5 minutes. So it could fit in the parameters of a person dying, but in this particular case, it was an ascension. And I think Panic can even tell you that a lot of people got sick. Was feeling sick 2-3 days before.
Right.
A little nauseated.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting reports. Everybody had aches. Me, myself, had a neck ache that was damn near unbearable.
Right.
But then when we come to find out, it was Michael returning into the DNA. It was Michael actually returning into the DNA. And a lot of people bear witness to that.
And one last thing. About 3 weeks ago, I was in Walmart, and was in Walmart, and ran up on a movie called Gabriel that was released, I think, in 2008. And in this particular movie, Gabriel comes down to Earth. In this movie, Gabriel comes down to Earth, and he finds out that Raphael, Michael, Uriel, which I've been talking about the last 3 months, had fell by the wayside, man. And there was drinking. One of the archangels, which was female, was out there selling pussy. Raphael, which is a god of healing, was all sick. They were smoking cigarettes and drinking. And in so many words, the Archangel Michael, who was the real kick in the movie, stabbed himself in the damn heart. makes the see what there are no coincidences. You see what I'm saying? So, and it's interesting here because I got a book, a DVD called The African Origins of Archangels, and in there we talk about Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael. Well, there's a deity called Akhenaten, and Akhenaten is an Ethiopian deity. And in that Ethiopian deity is also a form of Raphael. We also talked about Baron Samedi, who was a Saturn deity, Samedi, Saturday, and Saturday and Baron Samedi would later on transform into a Raphael. So all of this type stuff, but we're telling people to get the Richard Webster's books. He has one on Raphael, one on Gabriel, one on Uriel, and one on Michael, the Archangel Michael. Richard Webster, he has the Dictionary of Angels by Richard Webster. Excellent books. Anybody want to say anything?
Yeah, let me just, Brother Panic,
yeah.
You've been sending out some emails, some dynamic emails. I want you to get into that and what you was talking about in the emails concerning Michael. But first, I want to know, there's a picture that I got for you that I put on my website.
Right.
Now, what is that picture about?
Well, I seen it on the web and I got.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Now, I seen it on the web and I got it. You know, I think the picture tells 1,000 words. It explains itself. You know, there was an old Hemmitt statue that looks like not the black Michael Jackson, which everybody, you know, in their heart wants to believe, but what he turned himself into. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of say maybe something out his unconscious mind went there. You know what I mean? Or you could just say it is what it is.
All right.
You know, what I want to speak on, which is kind of important too, is most people know about Frankie Lyman, based upon that movie. Now, a long time ago, Frankie Lyman came to me and explained his connection to Michael Jackson. Frankie Lyman, you know, it was reported that he overdosed on heroin, you know, but he was also that child prodigy, made those fairy-like songs. And, you know, even personally, I had a connection to him. Remember, Panic is the same pan energy. Mm-hmm. So he basically came through, said he was a pan energy, and he took himself out in 1968. He basically showed me the feelings of that movie, which was a terrible assassination on his character, he told me at the time. And if you watch the movie, they did nothing on the genius of his music. They just exploited him with these women, which was still a triple goddess aspect. But nevertheless, he said he took himself out in 1968, and his energy went into helping little Michael Jackson in the Jackson 5. So I just wanted to make the Frankie Lyman connection.
And we do know this because you can also tell them the story in which Jimmy revealed to you, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, okay. See, because for a while now, certain of these gods have been coming to me. First of all, most of these gods now have showed up in our time as entertainers because that's the way this progress is going, whereas we're showing up where we need to show up. You know what I mean? We don't need to show up as politicians and Shaka Zulus no more. So these gods are showing up in entertainment, so these entertainers have been coming to me for the last year as the last gods who've been here. So when Jimi Hendrix came here, as powerful as Jimmy was, he said he still used Prince's energy. He raised up the singer Prince to get that energy. So Prince in Purple Rain, remember, Jimmy was Purple Haze.
Right.
So he raised up the Purple Rain, and if you change the word R-A-I-N to the reign of a king, he ate off of those energies, helped raise them up, and went to the next level.
Exactly.
Also, Joe Louis said he did that for Mike Tyson. He raised him up through the 80s. When he got where he needed to go, he let him go, and Mike fell to Buster Douglas, whatever. There's many more of those stories. I just can't remember them all.
Because also a form of the energy that they use also that they were able to help them do that is Archangel Michael also set over Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player, and Mike Tyson, which would have been one of the greatest boxers. You see what I'm saying? If he didn't go to prison, they had to put him in prison because although he lost to Buster Douglas, he kept on locking people out, and they had to put him into prison. You see what I'm saying? To stop him. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a part of it as far as this as far as these gods coming back as